In this video, we're going to discuss 6 simple text-based functions, but trust me, they can be very handy to actually clean up your data. Right? So let's start with the concatenate function. So concatenate, as the word means, is to put things together. So here it is putting blocks of text together. So let's say I want to combine the first name and last name in the full name column. So I can use the concatenate formula. So the short form of concatenate is concat. I can use that as well. Okay. So now it basically asks for the text that you want to concat. So if it is the first name, comma, then within quotation marks, I will put a space because I need a space between the first name and last name, and then comma separated with the next piece of text. Right. So I can keep going on like this, depending on how many blocks of text I want to combine. And there you go. I can do this perfectly. All right. So this is how I could actually combine blocks of text using the concatenate formula. But if I wanted, I could even avoid using the formula. I could instead do it this way. Select the first name, and instead of a comma and the concatenate formula, I can use the ampersand symbol, right? And then combine it with a space within quotation marks and then another ampersand symbol to tag it with C3, right? So basically I can use the ampersand symbol to combine blocks of text. And there you go, I get exactly what I was looking for. But then people would prefer using concatenate because the chances of making a mistake by typing in multiple ampersand symbols would be less. So depending on your requirement, you can go about using either concatenate or the ampersand symbol, right? So the next function that we have is trim, right? So the trim function can actually be used for removing additional spaces within a cell. So here we can notice that between the first name and last name, I have maybe one additional space, right? And then here in the second cell, there is an additional space before the first name. So what trim will do is it will get rid of all the additional spaces in between blocks of text, before as well as after. That is on the left as well as on the right. So let's use the trim function, and it uses only one parameter, so it takes one block of text. There you go. Perfect. So I got rid of the additional space between the first name and last name, and if I drag it down, works perfectly for the second cell as well, where it removed the additional spaces before the start of the first name. All right, so it removes additional spaces from the left, from the right, and even between blocks of text. Cool. So now moving on to the next function, which is len, as in length. So it finds out the length of a character. So if I were to say equals len and select this particular character, there you go. So it returns 13 as the value. So 13 basically includes all the characters, even the spaces would be included. So if I drag it down, right, so it basically fetches the number of characters including the spaces. So let's say you have a requirement where you want to set the length of a particular character and you want to check it out whether the length is meeting your requirement, then probably you would use this function, right? So that would be one of the use cases of this function. And then we have converting the case of a cell. So we have the proper case. So I will apply all these functions and explain. Then we have the lowercase, right? And then we have the uppercase. Okay. So the proper case is basically what we call as the title case or sentence case, where the first letter of every word is capital letter, and then lowercase in small letters, and then the uppercase where you have everything in all caps. So depending on what kind of column values that you have, and to make it more legible, easier to read and understand, probably you can use any one of these three cases.